Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So earlier today, I watched Conspiracy Dude's video about Prodigy. And in his video, he's basically saying that he believes that Prodigy was killed. And I just want to take some time to do this very brief response to that video. First of all, I'll say this, he did reveal some interesting information in that video, particularly that letter from Prodigy where he's talking about the Illuminati and he's talking about different political and social issues and just about the state of hip-hop and, all that kind of stuff. I thought that was interesting. Also, Conspiracy Dude talked about one of Prodigy's later albums where he's talking about the same types of things, and that was something that I wasn't aware of. And, I've been listening to that album today, and I think that it's a very interesting album. It's completely different from Prodigy's other albums. His other albums, he primarily talks about street life and all that kind of stuff. He talks about, the typical hood stuff and all that kind of stuff. Drug dealing, violence, and stuff like that. Just hood stuff. That's what he talks about. So this later album talks about something completely different. And, I have to give Conspiracy Dude credit for at least publicizing that, basically encouraging people to check it out by talking about it. And I actually went to the library and I got a copy of it, and I've been listening to it today. And, it does show something different. And I'm glad that, this has been revealed. A lot of people didn't know about this aspect of Prodigy, and they're not aware of his more recent albums. And also, I was watching Jordan Towers' YouTube channel. He had some videos about Prodigy, and one of those videos just featured Prodigy driving around New York talking about different issues. And one of the issues that came up was this whole Illuminati issue, this whole, conspiracy theories and black consciousness. And he talked about how he feared coming out and doing his videos and stuff like that, or doing conscious music. And he said that the thing that he really feared was losing his fan base, because his fan base is from the hood and stuff like that. They don't relate to conscious rappers like a Mos Def or Common Sense and stuff like that. So that's one thing that he expressed concern about. And he said, this video that he did was shortly before he was scheduled to go to jail. So he was talking about how he's going to talk about these things, and he doesn't really care about the blowback or, if fans will follow him or not. And I thought that was very interesting. So, I have to give Conspiracy Dude credit, and also Jordan Tower, for just putting out those videos where Prodigy is just talking about, different aspects of what he believes and stuff like that. And in that video on Jordan Tower's channel, he talked about like how he touches on some of this stuff in some of his songs. Like he had a song where he mentioned the Illuminati wanting control over his soul and body and all that kind of stuff. He said that he would sprinkle in a little knowledge here and there in his lyrics and stuff like that, but not too much, because he didn't want to turn away his audience. So I thought that was interesting. But I will say this, in terms of Conspiracy Dude promoting this idea that Prodigy was assassinated, I really think that's ridiculous and baseless. And I think that it is just exploiting a tragedy in order to get views and money. And I think that that's despicable. Everybody knows, like anybody who's familiar with Prodigy knows that for years he has suffered from sickle cell disease, and there have been a lot of complications along with that, including, being hospitalized on many occasions. And according to all the reports, he died from sickle cell disease. So there's no need to imagine a conspiracy. I mean, Conspiracy Dude, he's good at presenting quality videos in terms of the presentation of the videos, but he often presents fiction as fact. I mean, this guy is really for entertainment purposes only. He presents half-truths and misinformation and stuff like that in order to get views and stuff. And, I understand that that's his hustle, but stop presenting this stuff as fact. I mean, and then in that video, like he had some excerpts from Malcolm X and Martin Luther King to present this ridiculous notion that we are Native Americans. We are not Native Americans. We are African people who were brought here in bondage. And I did a whole nother video responding to one of his prior videos where he presents that argument. You know, the fact of the matter is, you know, despite the way he presented Malcolm X's statements in that video, the fact of the matter is Malcolm X referred to black people as African people. That's how he referred to black people. And this guy, conspiracy dude, is taking Malcolm X's statements completely out of context. And I will include links to videos in the description box where Malcolm X is talking about how we are African people so that you could watch it for yourself. And I will timestamp them as soon as I get a chance. So I had to point that out. I mean, this guy presents so much misinformation, man. Again, you know, I just had to give him credit at least for presenting a different side of Prodigy. So those are my thoughts. You know, I just think that too often people are prone to believe ridiculous, unsubstantiated conspiracy theories. Nowhere in his video does he present any kind of proof of Prodigy being assassinated. Instead, what he does is talk about how Prodigy has done some political rhymes and for that reason he was targeted and assassinated, without providing any proof of how he was killed or who killed him. Just some general statements based on nothing but conjecture. And it's like we got to be more intelligent than that as a people. There are real conspiracies that affect us. So instead of focusing on imaginary conspiracies, let's focus on real conspiracies like voter suppression, like police brutality, like failing schools, inferior schools in black neighborhoods, like a criminal justice system that unfairly sentences and harshly punishes black people. Let's talk about those types of real life conspiracies instead of fantasies.